your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. Chris said that we're starting late in the Discord, but actually, I think this is probably the earliest I've started in a while. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm trying to pull up I'm going to close this link. I'm going to pull up the YouTube so I can see your comments, and then we will get going. A lot happened today, or a lot is happening and has happened already. It's a extremely news-packed day to the point that I feel almost overwhelmed by the level of things that are happening. And I don't even know which thing to focus on. So we're just going to try to rapid fire get through all of them and then get into what really matters, which is where is the market going. And yes, I have a sleeveless shirt on today. I just felt it was what I was wearing, and I was too lazy to put on another shirt. So I thought, okay, I'll just wear this. It's fine. Hopefully it's entertaining for you guys. Okay, so I've got you guys in the chat. Okay, don't forget to say things, interact, talk, whatever. If you have questions, I'll answer them. If you want me to check individual stocks or crypto, that's what the after party is for. I will do it there. Major markets and policies will go over here. And then in the after party, I go over individual names and things like that you guys like to look at. Okay, you don't care about me being large with this crazy background. I'm going to shrink myself, and then we're going to get into what's happening. A couple of things, actually, really quick. I'll just go over a couple of things we're going to talk about. I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to get rid of this so I can then switch to what I want to talk about. Okay, and I'm going to shrink myself, and then I will point at them from the corner. Okay, that's small enough. In the corner over here. Yeah, I have no idea about the ETF, Anatoly. I don't know. That one, that's a mixed bag. I don't trade based on those type of news events personally. I just think it's it's kind of not I think some of the other news that's coming out is an even bigger deal than the ETF. I don't know if the ETF is going to be, it will be a chance for market makers to grab liquidity. But I don't think it's going to be the life-changing event that people expect it to be. So I'm not going to focus on that too much today. I think we'll see what happens. I don't recommend being over-leveraged in crypto going into that event. I think it's you're better off to play it safe and wait to time your trades to after. Trying to trade an event like that will always get you in trouble because there will be up and down moves to hit. They will try to use it as a liquidity grabbing event, an excuse to take prices up and take prices down to just hit wherever there's maximum stop losses and liquidations. We see the same thing with Fed speakers, especially when Powell speaks. They do the same thing in the stock market. Okay, so getting into what's been happening the past 12 to 24 hours. So the biggest thing was the flash services PMI came out very strong, 54.8. You can see all the past readings right here. We haven't had a reading that strong since June 2023. So that is big. It seems like it's a little bit cyclical. You always get a spike in May and June. So same thing last year came out. But this is saying, I mean, with this kind of number, like it says here, it's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's views of the economy. So if this is coming out, what does that mean as far as what the Fed can do with like easing interest rates and lowering the quantitative tightening that they're doing? What does that tell you? Any response? What do you guys think? All right, I'll just tell you. So it means that the Fed cannot cut rates. They can't cut rates. They can't decrease quantitative tightening more. They would look like complete clowns if they did that, because this economy is essentially roaring. It looks like it's doing great. I mean, look at it. Look at unemployment claims, 215 to 220. There's no issues with unemployment. Services PMI was doing well. NVIDIA, speaking of insanity, so let's look at this. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was NVIDIA. NVIDIA is 6.33% of the NASDAQ 100. That's insane. I mean, talk about Mag 7. This is basically Mag 1. The stock was up to 10.4% to, where is it right now? Let's check. Where is NVIDIA right now? This is pure insanity. So it's pulled back a little bit, but it went up to basically 1050. Okay, that's up on the day, 10.4%. I mean, NVIDIA is the NASDAQ 100. So it says that's contributing to about 66 BPS of the NASDAQ 100 upside today. The NASDAQ 100 is up 63 BPS. NVIDIA is the market. Yeah, exactly that. So if you have a company like NVIDIA coming out with insane earnings to the point that it's being pushed up 10% and it's already almost the biggest stock in the world, how can the Fed cut rates? Like what is going to be the excuse? That's what I'm wondering. What do you guys think? What is their excuse going to be? I mean, this is nuts. So that was something else I wanted to point out. We do have a massive gap that's formed with NVIDIA now, so I do recommend caution here. I don't see why this gap couldn't get filled. Although NVIDIA has a history of making massive gaps and never filling them for a long time. I mean, look at this big gap that came out here in February. Never filled. Still never filled from 670. A lot of these gaps have not been filled. So don't necessarily think that they're going to get filled right away. But you can see on every single time frame, NVIDIA is extremely overbought. It just is. And you have this building divergence coming in here. Not confirmed, of course, but this is a building divergence. Giving me red flag symbols once again with NVIDIA. But I'm not going to say like short NVIDIA right here. I'm just not. I'm not. I've run into that trap too many times already. There is an 8 coming in on the Tom DeMark indicator. I mean, if we look at this expansion target, the last time NVIDIA really consolidated, I don't know why TradingView is not filling in more. Let me try. Why am I not getting more data here? Does anyone know why? Why is NVIDIA? Oh, I know why. Because I have it set on crypto. Ah, stupid. So the last time NVIDIA consolidated was here and also here. But this is the best one where we have like a range to look at. And the range took us up to this 4.669 level, which was right up here, and we paused. And then we had our basically little downward move here that created a mini W for us to play with right here. And that kind of created the next zone, right like that. And that puts us like that and that. And we're hitting that 4.669. So that was your little W. And we just hit that 4.669 level. So you've got a Tom DeMark 7 on the 4 hour. You've got a Tom DeMark 8 on the daily chart. And you're also hitting a 4.669. Watch for divergence on these lower time frames, and you might, maybe you could have a new short opportunity. But you have to wait for some kind of market structure to form here. Right now, you don't have anything. There's not enough time. You need to give it some time. So that's my thinking on NVIDIA. I would not long up here, but you could watch for shorts if you're interested. All right, the other thing I want to talk about, let me pull up my notes because there's so many things that I had to write down what's going on. So also we have the Taiwan-China conflict that's happening right now. I don't know if you guys have read about that, but there is some intense stuff going on with Taiwan and China. So if I go back, go down here, this isn't the only guy I follow, by the way. Where's the China stuff? Yeah, so they're talking about rumors saying that China might launch an attack on Taiwan as soon as early June, and this is coming out everywhere. with people concerned about that. Obviously, that's a risk for global markets. I actually want to pull up this Twitter account because it gave some more information. I don't know why. Let's see. There was a better post than this. No. Let's go back. Global Press. Here we go. They had some good stories about this. Yeah. Sources say, so there's 6 hours ago, Chinese Foreign Ministry says Taiwan independence forces will be left with their heads broken and blood flowing. If something like this happens and it becomes something more than a rumor, that's going to be a major hit to markets. Okay, then maybe the Fed will eventually get their excuse to lower interest rates, which is what they want and they're looking for. They want that excuse. But as of right now, the economy is not giving them any kind of excuse. So something like this might allow them to have the excuse and say, okay, well, we're in a war situation. We need to lower the interest rates and print currency. That might be a way to get out of it. And that's sometimes what we see if we look back in history, that countries create wars or some kind of crisis as an excuse to then inflate the money supply. Hello, Fed. Hope you're doing well too. Nice to see you. Yeah, currently having a standoff. Taiwan Strait. Apparently, this is China. This is Taiwan. They're saying, supersonic anti-ship missiles are currently being moved in defensive position in response to China exercises. So there's all this stuff going on, and I just want to make you guys aware of it. And then the thing that everyone here is interested in and was asked, the first thing asked about, Ethereum ETF. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not really paying attention to it other than lowering any kind of leverage positions I had in crypto because I don't want to have to deal with the liquidation hunts that are probably going to happen whenever this decision comes out. Is there a time? Do you guys know a time when that decision is going to come out? I'm not sure when exactly. But I know the market's been acting quite crazy, and they ran. If I refresh this, I'll show you. They ran liquidations on Bitcoin. Yeah, Fed, just message me on the Discord, and I can send to you. It's just Truenomic TD. You should be able to find it. I'll just do it quick while this page is loading. So I use Truenomic TD sequential. So if you go to indicators, Truenomic, additional multi-time frame candlesticks. So, okay, I don't know why they don't show it anymore. Why did they talk about why they removed this? Somebody mentioned this before. TD sequence. I wonder if it's because it was something that actually worked. Maybe it's like governments where they remove supplements that actually work. This is weird. Tom DeMark. This is very weird. Huh. So I could share the code. I'll share the code in the Discord. I don't know why it doesn't show up anymore. That's very strange. Let me post it in the Discord. There's a special way to post this stuff. I think it's just posted like that, message.text. So I posted in the Discord the code for Truenomic TD sequential in the members lounge. Hopefully that helps you guys. So if you're in the members lounge, check it out there. Yeah, I pasted this official code that I have for this one. I think it's weird that they removed it everywhere. I wonder if like Tom DeMark or something asked TradingView for a certain amount of money, licensing deal, and they just said fuck off. I'm curious about why this happened. That's really weird. But that's totally getting me off topic from what most people probably care about. You guys probably don't care about what's going on with Tom DeMark indicator, but if you do want it, I posted it in the member lounge, so you can take the code and use it. Maybe they got rid of it because it actually works. It actually is one of the few things that will give you an edge in trading, and they don't want it on there. I mean, look at how many times this 8 and 9 worked to stop this rally. Here, pause, pull back, a little bit higher, pull back. This time it didn't really work, although it paused and then pulled back. This one didn't work at all, so it does fail sometimes. This one also was a false one. We'll see what happens with this one on the daily chart. This is NVIDIA, though. It's not the S&P. It works better on major indexes than something like NVIDIA, which is on just an insane run. Okay, so what other news did I want to talk about really quickly? I mean, it's just the Ethereum ETF. That was basically the only other thing. So let's look at, do you guys want to look at, I guess we can look at the S&P, and then I'll just switch to crypto and we'll look at Bitcoin and also Ethereum, and I'll give my thoughts. Yes, exactly, Brian. 100%. All right, so this is a weekly chart on the stock market, and you can see my target is at 5,530. It's been there for a while. That's based on our little W that we had come in down here. I'm not sure why it's only showing on a weekly. I think because I got rid of it on those other time frames. But you can see that on the 3-day, this divergence starting to form. Obviously, no confirmation yet, but you do have price moving higher while RSI is lagging a significant amount, which is obviously a red flag. Maybe we could pause and stop here and we play in this area. I do have a lower time frame that I'm watching. I can't remember if it's the 4-hour or the 8-hour. I believe it's a 4-hour. I'm watching for a cross on this 4-hour. Actually, now that I'm seeing this, I want to adjust it just a little bit. And that's my trigger to start hunting shorts if we end up on the other side of this uptrend on RSI. And we already had this significant pullback, which I'm guessing, because it happened, I'm guessing the pullback is because service PMI came in so hot that the market interpreted that as bad news simply because now the Fed can't cut rates. It's going to be delayed even more. That's the only reason I can think of for this pullback, plus the Taiwan-China conflict. Those are the main reasons. But I'm watching this trend line. If we break it, then I'll hunt shorts. But as of right now, I'm still kind of on the sidelines watching things here. And we're just playing in these levels. And you can see as far as liquidity, right? I show this every time. Ever since basically December 2023, liquidity levels haven't really changed. They've gone up, they've come down. We're basically at the same level. We're at the same level essentially as we've been since the end of December. And I think that is partially reflected in the market, where you can see that here's basically December, and we rallied a bit higher from there. From that initial push of liquidity, we did get more, right? So you had this higher. So here was December, pull back and then push higher with more liquidity, and now they're pulling it out. And that's why the market is Bitcoin and everything is kind of stagnating. I mean, obviously it's still going higher, right? If I look at a weekly chart, but it's not rising like it was back here, right? These were significant moves. And it's running into, I think it's kind of running out of steam here, and it's looking for that. It needs that liquidity. And the Fed did try to juice it a little bit by removing a bit of that quantitative tightening, reducing it, and that in effect is a way to create more liquidity. But this market without more liquidity being pushed in, I don't see how it can go much higher, other than to hit this 5,500 target. That's my last target. And then without some significant liquidity event happening, I don't see us going further beyond that. Yeah, we're back in balance. The overnight session was to probably liquidate a lot of traders that were short, and then we just rolled over to come back in balance. From a technical perspective, that makes sense. Where do we go from here? I think we're still in an uptrend to that 550 point, unless we break down from the RSI uptrend that I have. If we don't, then I see us potentially going to 5,530. That's where our 4.669 points to. That's where our chaos levels point to. Why is this not? Okay. That's where our chaos levels point to. And it looks like makes logical sense. All right, so that's the S&P. How much time do I have left? Let's see. Wow, 33 people watching today. Lots of lurkers. You guys aren't really talking. Why can I not? There we go. All right, so we're about 20 minutes in. In the next 10 minutes, I think I'll go through Bitcoin and we'll look at Ethereum and talk about where I expect both of those to kind of move to. The weekly chart. Weekly chart, Bitcoin does not look amazing. It's not terrible. I didn't get a full any kind of breakdown yet, but it's not amazing. I mean, we're in an uptrend still, but this weekly is looking a bit long in the tooth per se. It's looking like it could use a bigger pullback. Am I saying that's going to happen right away? No. Get rid of some of these numbers, by the way. This is ugly, ugly, ugly. But you know, it doesn't look great up here. And you can see how we came up to my 16.88 level and we got rejected. The next level after this is up here at 32.99, and that's 115,000. We have to breach this zone before we can move up there. And right now, on a 3-day chart, it's not looking great. And on a daily, look at, there's that time to mark again. We had a 9 come in. So we shouldn't be surprised by this pullback. You had a 9 come in on Tom DeMark. The market, it shows that the market needs a pause at minimum. And at max, it needs a pullback, a major pullback, or it could be a big turning point. So I'm not really surprised by any of this. Now the question is, where do we go from here? Well, we're holding this trend line on the 50-day moving average. This is a support level. You can see, like, if we look at support levels, right? So horizontal line. So here's a major support. We basically came into that. People right here, we didn't tag it because people probably front ran. They probably saw it, oh, there's a support level here, let's front run it. Or they moved the support line a little bit up and said, okay, the support line is here. You know, you could say, if you look at previous support levels, this is a major support level. So it makes sense that we're bouncing from there. You could also say right down here is another support level. Either way, very strong support. Also here, I would probably say 67,000 is a massive support. Could keep going. We could do this all day. This is the next. This is another major support level right here, right at 65. Those are the big support levels. Not surprised that we took a pause. Are we done rolling over to the downside? I don't think so. I think we could potentially roll over more. I'm watching like the 15-minute chart to try to see, will we get a reversal? I'm long. I went long a little bit of rune down here with a stop loss below these lows at about 6.1. So I am long that from this drop. I considered it a buying opportunity, but I'm avoiding leverage for now, considering what's coming with the Ethereum ETF. We can look at the liquidation situation and see what happened here. And you can see that this is the biggest liquidation on the long side since the 14th. So it's the biggest one in 9 days. That's a decent sized liquidation. But is it enough to satisfy the market's need for liquidity to the downside though? Or do they want to liquidate more people? That's something I have a hard time answering. The 4 hours loading, I'm going to show you what the 4 hour shows us. So something like this, I would want to see something like this where like 100 million or 90 million is liquidated. And then I see these smaller liquidations. And then I know, okay, this is when we can start considering longs. But right now we only have this little baby liquidation. Normally when you get a baby liquidation, see how it happened here on April 30th? You got some baby liquidations. And then it continued, and you got a few more until you kind of built a divergence in your the divergence in price versus the liquidations. So you had the price kind of flatlining, and then you had the liquidations slowly becoming less. That's what I want to see here. I want to see more liquidations go below 66, maybe all the way down to 64, 65 level down here. And then we see that divergence. And then we can consider potential long opportunity. Maybe the Ethereum ETF is the excuse to take it out to the downside. It is a nasty looking kind of top here. I look at a higher time frame, right? It's pretty ugly and clear breakdown on a 4-hour chart, right? So there's your breakdown. Unless we get a quick reversal in the next 3 hours, this looks extremely ugly, and it looks like we could have a further move to the downside. I could see us spiking all the way down to say 6,400. I don't see why that couldn't happen. 50-day moving average is right here as well. Major support zone for Bitcoin. So, you know, no reason why we couldn't see that pullback. So prepare yourself for that. Let's look at Ethereum quickly, because that's the thing that you're all going crazy about. Ethereum ETF. This doesn't look amazing on a weekly chart. I mean, it held uptrend, right? That's your kind of your, you can even just draw it like from here. It's kind of your uptrend. So we're still in that uptrend. On a daily, you can see how we took off. We had the 9 come in. We're getting a pullback on that. This 9 is a big red flag. There's a reason it's red. It's warning, warning, warning. I think this is going to be a news-driven event. They're going to use it, like I said, to hunt liquidity. I can't say which way this is going to go. Let me get rid of this. I can say that it consolidated down here, and then it springboarded up, and we did not hit that final target, which is up here at 42.42, which would take out these highs. I'm really surprised they didn't take out those highs. Maybe they use, if it gets approved, they can use it as an excuse to take out the upside and then roll over. I think regardless of what comes out, the news can report on it in such a way to justify whatever the market did. So don't assume that just because it gets approved, don't assume just because it gets approved that Ethereum is going to go straight up. It's not going to happen like that. It's not. They're going to find a way to take out the leverage players. Anyone that's on 10x leverage or higher, they're going to find a way to take them out. And if most traders are long, they're gonna find a way to take it to the downside. That's kind of all I've got on Ethereum. I mean, I wish I could say more. Weekly chart, it seems fine. You did have a 7 come in. That was a nice weekly candle bar. Let me go back to the weekly, actually. Let's see something here. This was basically your W and breakout level on Ethereum. You see something. Let's see. Yeah, so 4.669 is exactly where we basically stopped right at that level, right? Let's adjust that a little bit. Yeah, we pretty much stopped there. And you can see at 1.618, we also stopped, and 2.618 acted as support. And now we've tagged it and rejected again. And the next stop would be 6,000. If we can break higher, that's your next target, 6,000, which, you know, if you do an ABCD, right, here to here, maybe that actually works. You reach about 5,500, a little bit short, but in that general vicinity, 5,500 to 6,000 is where you could expect it to go. So if you're looking at it from a higher time frame, that's where we could eventually go, assuming the ETF is approved and you get the bullish scenario. That would be your next target. Yeah, I think buy the rumor, sell the news type thing would make sense. Like I said, the news doesn't matter as much as you think. It's all about hunting liquidity. Don't assume that just because it gets approved that it's going to go straight up and you're going to make lots of money. It's not how it works. It's just not. So be careful with that. Right now it's still in an uptrend on the 4-hour, but as soon as this breaks, I would consider shorts, but I would only do it after the news comes out, which might even be too late. It moves so fast. It depends on your risk tolerance, really. If you're a risk taker, then you can maybe trade the event on the 1 minute chart. Watch that 1 minute chart and trade on the 1 minute chart. just watch the liquidation zones. You know, anything above 39.66 and anything below 36.40 are zones that you should look for the market to trade to, and then you consider your trade in that area. That's what I like to do when I'm trading on a lower time frame, is think about where can they screw over as many people as possible. Okay, been going about 30 minutes. Normally we keep these public daily briefs to about 30 minutes. Love that we have a bunch of people watching today. If you're not a member of TRI, consider joining. It's a free trial. Right after this, I'm going to take about a 5-minute break, 5 to 10 minutes, and then we do the daily brief after party, where I will review any name, any stock, crypto name that you guys want to look at. I normally do it for about 40 minutes to an hour, and we go through and look at a couple names. Recently, we've been running a series where we look at the names of famous influencers, and we'll talk about, you know, the names that these influencers are pushing, saying 10, 20, 100x, and see, is it a good buying? Is the spot that the coins that they're recommending, are they currently in good buying areas, or is it extremely risky? And then we go through and we try to find which ones are actually good trades, and I found that that's been a lot of fun. Okay, let's talk in the after party. We'll talk about gold. We'll talk about DXY. We will look at NVIDIA in more detail and see where it's going to go. And then we're going to look at a couple of crypto coins and whatever you guys want to look at. So I will see you guys over there. And if not, if you're not going to come over there, well, consider signing up for a free trial and joining us. All right. Bye, guys. See you.